That's a wrestler from Tennessee. His name is Rickshaw. He's coming off the top rope. He's doing the Irish whip.
No one thinks you are funny, Ryan. Daniel only laughs because he wants your Star Wars toys when you die. This podcast is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Spoiler warning for the Phantom Rickshaw. And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. Follow Daniel at DStarSick on Twitter. Ryan is at Darth Daimyo on the Bluebird app. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher, and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for links to our Facebook group and Discord server. Enjoy our horror gaming content on YouTube. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/the Horror of Babylon. Finally, you can let your friends know that the Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and all other major podcast apps. Stay scary.
Welcome to episode 35 of the Horror of Babylon, where we are discussing The Phantom Rickshaw by Rudyard Kipling. I am Ryan, and with me as always is Daniel. Say hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
So normally when we start something new, we talk about both our histories with this, but I mean, this one, we did an episode, what feels like forever ago, on The Mark of the Beast, and we just came across the name of this story while we were doing it, and we're like, oh, that sounds cool.
It did sound cool.
So that's basically the whole thing.
Yeah, there we go.
The vampire's a pure myth, superstition. I may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
As I just said, we've done Kipling before, and we went into a lot of his background and his other works in that previous episode. So if you're interested, go back and listen to our episode on The Mark of the Beast.
And you'll get a lot of that.
But just real quick, if you're not familiar, he's most famous for The Jungle Book, but has also done a lot of other stories.
Ricky Tikki Taffy.
Such as Ricky Tikki Taffy. Did you say Ricky Tikki Taffy?
Yeah, every time.
I just have this image of
like
a weasel
with
taffy in his mouth, and he's like... Oh,
I was thinking of like a taffy noodle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fighting some cobras.
So this story was originally published in 1888 in the collection The Phantom Rickshaw and Other Eerie Tales. It's a short story anthology, all of them horror or horror adjacent. It also includes My Own True Ghost Story, which is a non-fiction story of Kipling's own encounter with a ghost while he was staying at a hotel in India, which is really good.
I'll have to listen to that one.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
I want to encounter a ghost.
Yeah, I know. It's like, that is one of my all-time...
It's to experience something like you truly can't explain.
Yeah.
I think that's where we get a lot of crossover.
I have seen orbs. Mm-hmm. So when I went to Gettysburg in high school, and we went out on the battlefield at night when it was like pitch dark, and there were like these glowing orbs that I still have not heard a real explanation of what that was. The tour guide, we were doing like a nighttime tour, and the tour guide I'd said they were just like ghostly images, and my dad said it was bullshit. But
how's it bullshit, Dad?
Yeah, but I've yet to I will totally hear like a legitimate scientific explanation for what those were.
I'm sure there might be one. Hit us up on Twitter.
Well, I'm just gonna Google Gettysburg ghost orbs, see what comes up.
Ghost orbs. The closest thing I have to any of this is I have horrible night terrors. Very rarely. It's just everything feels super real, and I'm always accosted by black shadows in them. People tell me that means I'm being abducted by aliens. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, these.
You saw some orbs?
Yeah. We looked it up on YouTube. they're just like these little floating lights, and like they were literally right in front of me. I could just, you couldn't touch them because it was really just like light, but almost like fireflies, but with like no bugs.
What if it's a ghost of a firefly instead of a Gettysburg member?
I mean, that would take it.
I mean, I guess I'd still accept that.
Yeah, this is exactly what it looked like.
Okay.
So this is like a thing that people see, but...
That's okay, but that's not really what either of us want.
Yeah, no, I want like a legitimate...
I want
encounter.
I want like the ring girl to crawl out of my TV or to call me on the phone.
I basically want the opening scene of Ghostbusters in the library.
Yeah,
I want that. Just see a ghost, scares the shit out of you, run away screaming, and I'd be satisfied.
I'm a little greedy. I kind of want something more like Call of Cthulhu, where I come across some sort of impossible notes and start tracking it down.
Yeah, that's likely to lead to my death.
Yeah, same. But then you'll find my journal, and then the cycle continues.
I guess if that happens when I'm 85, I'd be okay.
Yeah, we'll wait till we're older.
Okay, so jumping into structure and themes, the structure of this is very similar to a lot of the other things. Particularly, it reminded me of Carmilla.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
It was effective. My thoughts aren't super deep on this. It just did remind me of Carmilla, so...
Basically, it's the notes from a doctor about a patient he had in India.
Telling the patient telling his story.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, Dracula-esque notes from a journal, and something that I enjoy. This isn't going to be like a 3-hour long episode.
Yeah.
It was a short, enjoyable story, but it's not as meaty of a topic as a lot of the other things that we've covered.
And a lot of our thoughts are probably going to be like, it was like this, and we enjoyed this.
Yeah.
So, that's fine.
Yeah. So I'd say
nothing wrong with a short episode every now and again.
No. I'd say the main theme that I picked up on was guilt. It gave me a lot of Telltale Heart vibes.
Yeah.
I assume you've read Poe's The Telltale Heart?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just real quick summary, assuming a lot of the audience hasn't read this story. Basically, it's about a guy in India who meets a woman and they fall in love. They have a short affair and he gets bored with her and he breaks it off. And
men do.
As men do, unfortunately. They meet again a few more times, and she tries to renew the relationship, and he always rebuffs her. And then she eventually dies. And then he is with a new woman, and they're getting engaged to be married when he sees the rickshaw of the other woman, and it turns out it's a ghost. And he sees this all over the place. Wherever he goes, she shows up in her phantom rickshaw. Similar...
Did you have to look up what a rickshaw was?
No.
Because I did.
No, I did not.
I didn't know what it was.
It is a carriage that's pulled by a person.
Because I heard phantom rickshaw, and I was like, oh, what's a rickshaw, and why is it a ghost?
That's a wrestler from Tennessee. His name is Rickshaw. He's coming off the top rope. He's doing the Irish whip.
I don't know if I can blame my dyslexia on this, but I kind of just pictured a really big saw. Rickshaw!
Don't say saw. I mean, it just goes to the point where he's, just like in the Telltale Heart, he's driven crazy by seeing the ghost of his dead girlfriend again and again and again.
Yeah.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Did you think this was a reliable narrator?
I think this would be a very good example of maybe not an unreliable narrator, but one where you question whether they are or not.
Jumping into characters and talking about Jack, who is the narrator, probably my favorite line in the whole book, where is after he sees the ghost for the first or second time, he goes back to his hotel room and he sits himself down. He's like, okay, I got to get this straight in my head. And he says to himself, I'm presumably sane.
I'm probably not crazy.
Which, that in itself probably means you're not crazy if you're questioning your own sanity, but I thought it was really funny.
I do that after my night terrors.
This was actually... it's horror in that it's a ghost story.
Yeah.
But I read it, I listened to it twice. To me, it was really more of a comedy.
It did kind of have those scary movies, a horrible example. I guess like Ghostbuster sort of vibes. where there's, like, it's horror adjacent, but we're really kind of laughing at this dude bumbling around the situation.
Yeah, my enjoyment of this was really more about, like, what a jackass the narrator was.
He keeps coming up with new excuses. Oh no, it was, I was feeling quite faint when I was calling out at the phantoms. A slight fever, my dear.
He ditches this, he, like, has this passionate affair with this woman, and then tries and drops her off at the fire station like some unwanted orphan. And it goes badly for him. She eventually dies, and he's hooking up with this new lady called Kitty. He's presumably going to do something similar with her, because it makes a point of establishing at the beginning of the story that he's kind of not so much a playboy, but what I envision like a 19th century playboy to be, somebody who travels and gallivants across the globe, meeting various women.
God, there's a word for this, but I cannot think of it right now.
Yeah.
Dandy isn't right.
No, I think dandy is like an old term for a effeminate male.
Yeah, like a fancy dude in the South.
Yeah. Southern dandy. I think the most appropriate term for this guy to me is jackass.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a great dude. I've certainly seen dudes do way worse shit to women.
To me, like, we talked about this a little bit with some of the other, like, older stories we've read. I think there was maybe, like, more to it that Kipling just didn't put into the story. Like, to me, I read it as if they were sleeping together. He was taking advantage of her, and then he just kind of kicked her to the curb. Yeah. He didn't explicitly say that in the story.
And that could be our modern sensibilities being projected onto the story.
And it could be, or it's just that...
It's just something that's underlying that goes without being said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, maybe he didn't do anything more than kiss her wrist. Or maybe she showed him some ankle.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the further he got, the more he deserved to be haunted.
And so talking about the ghost, Mrs. Agnes Keith Wessington.
It's a horrible mistake.
It's a horrible mistake. I think that we should renew all friendship, and it will be the same as it was. I feel bad for her. One thing I thought was absolutely hilarious is that after she dies, her 4 Japanese servants also die. And then...
Did they die of a broken heart?
No, they die... I think it said they died on their way to battle. They didn't really explain. But
they were going to fight Russians.
Yeah, well, maybe.
If they're Japanese, they're going to fight anyone they can find.
What was so funny is that they have the same servitude they had to her in life. They have to also have to her in the afterlife. It's like they died, and they're like, okay, we're going to heaven, we're gonna party, and we're gonna have all these virgins and blah blah. And she shows up in the rickshaw and says, boys, get in line, pull my carriage.
Could you imagine, Ryan, that if you died and you had to still work at a call center?
No, please, Mama, no.
I die and I get to haunt a mental health hospital, I guess. Ugh. Mine sounds slightly better in terms of a haunting.
Yeah. If I got to haunt a call center
instead of work at one,
yeah, that might be okay.
I have to sit and just watch patients.
What I would do is I would look for people who are having bad phone calls with, like, irritable customers, and I would, like, haunt the ghost line, and haunt the phone line, and, like, as the customer was going off, I would change my voice to the representative's voice, and you're such a dumbass customer. Just get them going, all them. I didn't say that. I just heard you say it. And then they play back the recorded call, and it would be like all this ghostly static.
White noise.
Yeah, exactly. And then the new lady in Jack's life is Kitty.
I don't know what it is about the name Kitty.
Yeah.
That has to be a pet name.
I feel like it's just not a name that's used anymore.
I guess.
Like, I see it on TV and movies, but I've never met or known of anyone who is actually named Kitty.
I have a friend, and their pet name in their relationship is Kitten.
Yeah, like... is it like short for something?
Is Kitty... maybe Catherine?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is the name Kitty short for it or something? Catherine, yeah.
Okay, so Catherine with a K.
I mean, I guess...
I prefer Catherine with a C.
Yeah. Well, I guess I've known Catherines who go by Cat. So,
okay, so maybe it's not a jump.
Yeah, it's not too far of a jump to call someone Kitty. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say on her. She's really just like the new lady that she was maybe the smartest character in the whole story because she dumped Jack.
She noped out of the situation.
She's like, nope, I'm done.
I think she stayed in it way longer than she probably should have.
Probably.
Like the first time somebody drags me by my wrist to point out the Phantom Rickshaw and then blames it on a fever, I'm probably not going to call them again.
And his intention was to show Kitty the ghost of Mrs. Agnes Keith Wessington and be like, I'm going to introduce them and I'm going to explain to her, this is my new fiance. You have to leave me alone.
This is my new WAP.
I have upgraded Mrs. Agnes Keith Wessington to Kitty, and you must go away. That and your 4 dead Japanese servants.
I love the long name. It's very Lovecraftian.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last character is Dr. Heatherly.
This dude is hilarious.
Yeah. Why do you think he's hilarious?
He just keeps calling like Jack a jackass all the time. He's just like, okay, it sounds like to me that you're cuckoo bananas. Here are some pills.
I don't believe you at all, but I will cure you. I will make you go on long walks in the morning.
I can't remember. I'm sure I imagined him giving him morphine, but I pictured him giving him morphine.
I think maybe there was something about morphine in
I think I imagined that just because that sounds like an old-timey doctor's response to ghosts.
Another one of my favorite lines came from the doctors. He said, "Stay clear of women and indigestible food until the day of your death." I was like, wow, that's great advice. Don't go out with women and don't eat food you can't digest. Perfectly sensible.
Do you think he was hitting on Jack there? Stay away from women. But me, Jack.
So maybe that should be one of our panels at DualCon is the greatest horror ships of all time, and our greatest horror ship is Jack and Dr. Heatherly from the Phantom Rickshaw.
Oh, there's the cringiest shit I'm into. I don't mind shipping stuff.
No, I mean I ship stuff too, but okay.
Who do you ship Pennywise with?
So our next pre-show, when we're done with this, we'll do like our
horror ships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top 3 horror ships.
Okay.
Something like that. Okay. Yeah, the doctor was funny. So jumping into scary shit.
I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy and I'll kill you all. I'm every nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
Not super scary. Like I said, I thought it was more of a comedy.
I don't know if it was intentionally written to be as funny as I found it, but
yeah, the idea of wronging a woman so bad that she comes back from the grave, that idea is scary. Mm-hmm. But the story itself is not scary. I could definitely see like the same premise being scary if it was written differently. Mm-hmm. Like this,
but the way he wrote it was kind of funny.
Yeah, no, I thought
the doctor cracked me up every time he said something.
Yeah, I think this story is ripe for a modern adaptation, and it could be actually legitimately like you could convert this into like a real scary movie.
I don't know if this person is still alive because I don't know directors that well or their names. But I picture like the dude who did Gremlins who would be able to do a good job with this premise.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably like the most well-known example of like a straight horror comedy.
Or the Ghostbusters director.
Yeah.
Somebody in that kind of range.
Okay, so Gremlins was directed by Joe Dante, and I don't think he's alive anymore.
I didn't think so, but... Oh yeah, he directed The Howling.
No, he is. And he's directing the new Gremlins TV series.
Oh, okay. Joe Dante, do the Phantom Rickshaw for us. I will gladly play Jack.
We need to when the new Gremlin show comes out. We need to like do a bonus episode on the movies and
on some Grimmies.
Yeah. Oh, and Ming-Na Wen's gonna be in it. That's sweet.
I don't know who that is.
Finnick Shand.
Oh, okay, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was also the OG Mulan, and of course she's Agent May from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, she's a goddess.
Oh my God! Are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Koontz. Oh.
To Kings and Koontz. Daniel, what was your king for this one?
The Doctor, just literally anytime he talks shit on Jack.
My king...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, my king was the line, presumably sane.
Presumably.
The narrator himself calls into question if he's a reliable narrator.
Yeah. Sort of
a fourth wall breaking line, but not really.
I would call it meta commentary.
Yeah.
A runner-up for me is the dragging her by the wrist to see the ghost, and there's nothing there.
So come see the ghost of my dead girlfriend. I'll introduce you, and
then she will stop haunting me when she sees how late I am getting. Like, if I saw a ghost, I would ask maybe somebody, "Hey, do you see something over there?"
You know how I would adapt this?
Wow.
I would adapt this as an episode of American Dad with Steve as Jack. And he's like, he goes, maybe not even India. He goes somewhere on a trip, has a summer fling with some girl, and then dumps her. And then he goes back the next summer.
Steve has the summer fling.
Yeah. I know. That's not exactly in Steve's character, but... I mean, it's...
Who's your number one Steve ship?
I really liked I don't remember her name, but the overweight girl.
Yeah, the goth chick.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
It's either that or the Asian French sister. So.
Yeah. But, well, I also ship him with... not Booger.
The fat kid?
No, not Barry. Not Barry. The other one.
Evil Barry.
The Jewish one.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah. What's his name? Damn it.
I should know this. I watched so much American Dad.
He's voiced...
Snot.
Yeah. He's voiced by the guy who played Booger in Revenge of the Nerds.
And they call him Snot here.
And they call him Snot, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's the joke.
Steven Snot. I ship them a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. Like how in the future they keep ending up together because they can never get a girlfriend.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. And then... My king, I said it. Okay, my Koontz is the fact that it takes place in India, but unlike every other Rudyard Kipling story, Indian culture has nothing to do with it. Like, it could have taken place almost anywhere.
Yeah.
And your Koontz?
I don't know. I guess I would have a bit... My only real Koontz is... Not that this is a perfect story by any means.
No.
Is I wish I understood the author's intent more. But, like, I'm a 21st century guy reading this old ghost story. I wish I knew if he intended it to be as funny as I found it.
Yeah. Was the intention to be a ghost story or a comedy? And I think after reading the other one, My Own True Ghost Story...
Yeah.
That one is obviously intended to be spooky. To me, I feel like he intended this to be a comedy... But it's hard to say,
and that's really the only thing that I could say.
Yeah, and honestly, mine is really kind of a nitpick because it's not a perfect story, but I honestly really wouldn't change much of anything about it.
Yeah, it works for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun short read. I mean, I'd listen to it.
Yeah, no, I did too.
But it took me like 30 minutes to listen to it. Mm-hmm. And it probably wouldn't have taken me more than an hour to read, and I'm a slow reader, so... No,
it's real easy. And if you're looking to get into Kipling, this is probably an easy one to start with.
Yeah.
Okay, so jumping into rankings, right now our short story rankings are... Mine is The Mark of the Beast, The Call of Cthulhu, Night Surf, and yours is The Call of Cthulhu, The Mark of the Beast, Night Surf. I'm just going to jump in there. I think it was better than Night Surf, because I didn't really like Night Surf that much, but I can't honestly say it's better than either of the other two, so I'm going to put it at my number 3.
Mine's the same. It's right above Night Surf.
Okay, cool.
I honestly was surprised how little... Not that Night Surf is like the worst thing ever written, but like how little I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, there's just... It didn't have... It gives a little bit more world building for The Stand.
Yeah.
But that's really... And I thought it was kind of freaky, like, just the way that they...
Burning somebody alive.
Yeah. But,
to make the disease go away.
Yeah. Other than that, it doesn't have a lot going for it.
Yeah. I think that all the other stories had something either, like, more memorable or more fun about them.
Yeah.
So they stuck with me more.
Exactly. Same.
Sorry, King. I'm sure the other 10,000 short stories you've written will rank above this stuff.
We do have some King short stories on the docket for season 2.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they are all better than Night Surf.
I'm really looking forward to Jerusalem's Lot.
Yes, that's the Lovecraft-inspired prequel to Salem's Lot. You're going to love that one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's also... it's formatted as a diary.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, that's like porn to Daniel.
Yep.
I'd really like, and Stephen King's It comes pretty close, but I would really love for him to just straight try to write a Lovecraft story, even one set in the Lovecraft universe, just to see how he does it.
So there are 2. Jerusalem's Lot, and then there's another one. Let me look it up real quick.
I would like to see his take on this sort of stuff.
But they're both basically Lovecraft stories. The other one that I'm forgetting the name of has that same like, and the people saw something that their minds could not fathom, and it broke their minds, and they became drooling, burbling vegetables. And
in the current book I'm writing, I fucking do that.
Okay, so it's a short story in Nightmares and Dreamscapes.
I really need to get this book.
It's not his best one, but it's pretty good.
It just has a few stories in there that I've been meaning to read.
I would prioritize Night Shift, but there's some good stuff in here.
It's the Night Flyers in it. Gotta get it.
Yeah, the Night Flyer's in it, and it also has another short story featuring the vampire from the Night Flyer, Popsy.
Which one has Children of the Corn?
Night Surf or Night Shift.
Night Shift.
I can't remember which one of these it is. Crouch's End.
Okay.
Crouch's End is a like an alley in London, and it's about some Americans who are vacationing in London and see something otherworldly, and it like breaks their minds.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, Night Shift is his first short story collection, and it's got
Night Shift, Jerusalem's Lot.
So it's got Jerusalem's Lot, Graveyard Shift, which was made into a movie, Night Surf, The Mangler, which was made into a movie, The Boogeyman, which is getting a movie next year, Gray Matter, which had an anthology.
Oh, we might have to add the Boogeyman to our roster then.
Trucks, which is the short story that Maximum Overdrive is based on. The Lawnmower Man, which has 2 movies that aren't really. Quitters Inc., which is in Cat's Eye, is one of the...
Yeah, with the cigarettes.
Yep, exactly. Children of the Corn.
I really love Cat's Eye. I've seen that movie so many times.
Yeah, Cat's Eye's great. So Night Shift is just overall really good. But yeah.
Okay. Let's rewind just a tad.
Kiss me, fat boy.
Kiss me, fat boy. Do you think he smashed?
Yes, I absolutely think he did.
I also think he smashed. I think that's what led to part of this problem.
Yeah, I think it's just, like you said, maybe I'm projecting my modern sensibilities, but I think what happened, my headcanon is that they had a whole bunch of summer sex, and then he dropped her like a sack of potatoes, and that's why she had such a hard time of it.
Yeah. That's exactly how I read it. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted us to put that out on the table for everybody.
No, and I think it's just that wasn't the kind. Kipling didn't say crap like that. He didn't say, "Oh, they had a whole bunch of bone and sex."
Yeah, he doesn't have write about nipples like Stephen King does.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so jumping into homework, how would you wrong a lover so bad that they would come back from the grave to haunt you?
Oh, let me just look back into my dating history.
Not a real example, please. Just a made-up one.
You go first.
Star Wars and chill turns into sex, but the sex turns into me watching The Phantom Menace instead of having sex, which wrongs her so bad that she come back as a ghost and haunt me. She says, "Hey, are you focusing on this? No, pod racing. I'm watching the pod race."
Okay, I guess I won't use my real life example. I will use real life adjacent.
Okay.
I see myself. I have a problem with getting stuck in the past a lot. Mm-hmm. So I see myself trying to be with somebody and then going back to an ex over them, and then that breaking them. Which is always a pervasive fear of mine that I think it's a habit I've finally broken. But I do think that could cause me to get haunted, and I think I would probably also deserve it. So.
Yeah. Well, that was not as fucked up as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, I chambered the fucked up one.
Okay.
Do you want the fucked up one?
Sure, I can always cut it out.
When I'm in a place, I start a affair with whose husband is also, but whenever she does it, and then when she tries, but I'm not.
But that really happened.
Yeah, this is just a.
Okay, yeah, we're not going to put that out there. We're not putting that out there.
But I could see that causing me to get haunted by her.
That's so bad.
Yeah. Daniel was not proud of that situation.
Okay, Our question for the listeners this week: share your worst breakup story with us. Hit us up.
That's my worst one.
hit us up on your socials. Let us know what you would do to get. And then for further reading, if you want to do more Kipling, highly recommend The Mark of the Beast.
I like that.
Like I said, we did an episode on that, and My Own True Ghost Story, which is his real telling of a paranormal event he experienced in a hotel. Mm-hmm. And Ricky Tikki Taffy is super sweet.
I thought it was taffy, like the gum.
Oh. And then also, I'm sure most of you have read it, but The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe.
So good.
Is such a great short story, and it's really super similar to this, but creepy. Obviously, Poe is not a comedy.
Yeah. I've never killed anybody, but I still have these recurring nightmares where I killed somebody and I keep becoming afraid that I'm going to get caught, so I keep visiting the grave.
You should not do that.
You shouldn't visit the grave.
And that's what leads you to get caught.
Yeah. The worst part is it's always somewhere super real, like underneath the trampoline in my backyard. Which all the grass underneath there is dead, so every time I see it, I'm like, was that dream real? Did I kill somebody?
Yep, you did. All right, well, upcoming on the Horror of Babylon next week, we are wrapping up our Call of Cthulhu coverage with The Call Girl of Cthulhu from 2014.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We haven't watched it yet. We're going to watch it together before we record. But that'll wrap up Call of Cthulhu. We do have more H.P. Lovecraft planned. We have a rough draft for our Season 2 schedule. There is more Lovecraft on there. So if you're a fan, stay tuned. Also, even though we have a rough draft for Season 2 planned, we're still taking suggestions. So if there's anything you want us to read or cover, please let us know. The next week, first Sunday in September, we're starting our first Junji Ito project with Gyo. Yes, the one about the mutant fish. And then we're going to cover the anime the following Sunday, September 11th. Our next novel will be The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. That is going to be on Sunday, September 18th. And then there are no adaptations of that yet. So we are going to wrap up some of the Mermaid Saga adaptations we haven't gotten to yet. On the 25th, we're going to do Mermaid's Forest. On October 9th, we're going to do Mermaid's Scar. And the first Sunday in October, we're going to do another manga, Domu, which is a horror manga by Katsuhiro Otomo, who was the director and manga artist behind Akira, anime classic. So yes, that's all we've got for tonight. Thank you very much for joining me, Daniel.
You're welcome, Ryan.
And thank you, Mrs. Agnes Keith Wessington, for joining us as well. You're welcome, boys. Good night and stay scary.
Stay scary.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow Daniel at dstarsick on Twitter. Follow Ryan at Darth Daimyo on the Bluebird app. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher, and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/the Horror of Babylon. And finally, you can let your friends know that the Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, and the iHeartRadio app. Stay scary.